Hi everyone, Paul from Fiesta Adventures, and welcome to my channel. And we're going to do a little vlog style video of what it's like coming into Death Valley. Now if you come in from the west, you're either going to come in on Highway 190 over Towns Pass, or you come in the back way, which is called Wild Rose. If you go Wild Rose, that's a more primitive road. There's some little bit of dirt section, some bad pavement, but really nothing that you can't do in any two-wheel drive. You can bring your Civic or your Prius along there without any problem. And there's some things to do along the way, like the charcoal kilns, and then there's some dirt side roads that I explored. You can check out my other video for that. But either way, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come down into Stovepipe Wells, and if you need any supplies, that's the place to grab them. That's one of the places you can get gas. If you're low at all, do gas up there. There is gas in Furnace Creek, but it's typically extremely expensive. Also at Stovepipe Wells, depending on how the Park Service is operating, you're going to want to get your pass, your park pass. You want to pay your fee and get your little tag you put on your vehicle there, because they typically don't have the kiosk occupied. So you're supposed to take care of that, and if you don't, then, the rangers may or may not give you a bad time, but it's good to take care of it. Once you're a few miles out of Stovepipe Wells, you get a nice view of Death Valley as you're rolling in. It's quite pretty. We're fortunate today as we have a nice sky, nice lighting. You go over these humpity bumpity things, you start to grasp the magnitude of Death Valley, how large it is and how expansive, and the subtle colors of the desert. Desert isn't for everyone, but I absolutely love it. It's so nice, so pretty. Okay, so now we're coming into Stovepipe Wells. There was a sign back there that sort of reminded people of what I just said, which is you need to get your pass. There's a campground over to the left. That's privately owned, I believe, and it's not great. It's just like a concrete parking lot. And here is the gas station. I'm going to fuel up here because it is my belief that this gas station is slightly less of a ripoff than the one in Furnace Creek, which can be like double the price of gas that you pay at home. And this is, well, it says $4.90. Oh man, they don't have diesel though. Crap. Well, that's kind of a bust for me, because I need diesel for the Sprinter. This is a brilliant parking job this guy just did. People can't get it. What a tourist. Tourists, tourists. That's how they are. So anyway, if you have a vehicle that takes gasoline and not diesel, do gas up there. Now we're going to head down. This is the entrance station, just beyond the gas station. And this is where you are supposed to stop and get your pass for your car. And you really should, it says pay entrance fee there. And this crowd of people here, as you might expect. I'm going to slip right up here into the VIP parking spot. Alrighty.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Can I have this? Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Are you just information, or are you okay? Because I have a pass.
I can do that too.
Okay.
And do you have your ID as well?
I sure do.
I'm just going to be checking.
Let me pull that out for you. So you can deal with the pass, but not the payment, right?
Yeah, you have to have a background clearance for that, and I'm not a fees ranger. I'm just an interpretation ranger, for the programs.
Yeah. Let's see.
I've got 2 IDs.
Well, I still have my. I updated it recently, and then they didn't change the picture, so I think yeah.
Yep, that's you.
Yeah. I just kept the old one.
And this is for the dashboard of your vehicle.
Okay.
These are 2 different kinds of maps.
And then the road out to Mesquite.
Yeah.
Is that open, or is that?
Mesquite,
the campground, like
I'll show you.
Okay.
The North Highway is closed.
The whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Can you get out to Titus Canyon?
That's all.
Oh no!
That's all gutted, kind of dredged out by the rain.
But
So
okay.
this North Highway.
So, can you get to here though?
Nope. It's all busted.
Oh, before you get to Titus.
Yeah. Well, right here, this is all fallen out. Well, you really can't get anywhere here.
Is this where it's blocked right here?
It's blocked like right here.
Okay.
You can't even try.
You can't. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was planning on going and riding my bike on Titus Canyon. I love Titus Canyon.
I'm sorry.
So, I'll find something else to do.
I don't know where else you could ride it.
Well, there's a lot of other places, but Titus.
Some people go to 20 Mule Team and go there, or Greenwater Valley.
Oh, that 20 Mule is up toward past
Yeah,
Zabriskie?
people ride there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Zabriskie.
Yeah. Okay, I'll head up there. I can boondock camp. You go up towards Zabriskie. I can't remember. Maybe it's a little past Zabriskie, and then there you can turn left, right?
Greenwater Valley.
What's that?
Greenwater.
Greenwater, and I can camp out there, right?
Yeah, as long as you know, leave no trace, pick up all your stuff,
Yeah.
don't start a fire.
Yeah, I'm totally self-contained in my van.
Perfect.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Yeah, are you filming a movie?
Yeah, I'm making a little. I have a YouTube thing, and I
What's
do
it called?
Fiesta Adventures.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
I'll look at your adventures.
Yeah. So I came in Wild Rose for the first time.
Yeah.
And Wild Rose, and then I went up to the kilns, which were amazing.
Was it snowy?
There's snow right at that level, and then
Yeah.
you look above it, and there's snow up there. But it wasn't snowing yesterday.
Okay.
And then I did, I don't know how to pronounce it, Augerberry Point. And that was amazing. And the Augerberry mine thing was really great. It was awesome. That was super awesome. Really enjoyed that. So anyway, thank you.
Have fun out there.
You bet. Bye-bye. All right, so that was sort of a young ranger woman who was pretty nice. And you heard me saying that God, I had this big plan to do Titus Canyon, and I no can do. So anyway, oh man, that's a little bit of a bummer. But there is plenty to do. It might mean the Titus Canyon thing was going to be awesome, but ain't going to happen. So off I go. Okay, so while we be driving, I'm going to talk a little bit about what she was mentioning about the whole Titus Canyon thing. So what happened was last year we had just a ton of rain in December, and Death Valley it was a mess. People got stuck here. The roads washed out. It was pretty horrible. They had to do a lot of repairs and stuff just to get people out of the park, and then that northern section, the whole section to the north of the main road that comes in here, which goes out to Ubehebe Crater and the racetrack, and it goes out to the north exit of the park, which is all dirt. That is all washed out and closed. But I thought that I could still get to Titus Canyon, which is only a few miles out that road, and she was telling me that that is not the case. So we are limited to more of the southern portion of the park, which is fine. There's plenty to do, but I just had my heart set on riding my bike on up Titus Canyon. So this is the first set of dunes that you come in and see in Death Valley, and they're not huge, but they're super popular. You can see they're always crowded with people. It's the first thing that you come to in Death Valley, and people everywhere. And it's like, I generally don't stop here. The best dunes are the Eureka Dunes, which are in that north end of the park, and you have to travel on a long way on the dirt road to get there, and as a result, there's nobody there. And last time I was there, I hiked up there early in the morning. I have a YouTube video on that if you want to check that out, but I hiked up early in the mornings on the dunes, and there was nobody there, and as I was coming down, I saw one guy, and that was it, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. So that's the place to go. Okay, there's the sign that says the road is closed, and if we were going to go to Titus Canyon, as I had planned to, this is where we would turn left. And they have it blocked off like right there. So ain't nobody going out there. Not me, not you, not anybody without authorization. So on to plan B. As I said, there's so much to do here. So much I've done, so much I haven't done. So much I've done, but I would be willing to do again. And we've got this is the best weather you can possibly have in Death Valley because, number one, it's cool and it's pleasant, and we also, because the weather's unsettled, we have great sky with the clouds and whatnot, because most of the year the sky in Death Valley is just, it's a beautiful blue sky, but there's no drama to it. And once you have this cloud cover, then as a photographer, it's kind of what you're looking for with it. It's this kind of cloudiness where you've got light peeking through. So this is perfect. Oh, incidentally, I just passed the sign that said Furnace Creek 17 miles. So from Stovepipe Wells, it's, I don't know how many miles we went, maybe just three miles, maybe it's like 20 or 21, 22 miles from Stovepipe Wells to Furnace Creek, which is, I would say, is the hub, kind of the hub of Death Valley. It's the main area. It's where most people stay. It's where most people eat and drink and hang out and party and all that stuff. And then from there you can get to Artists Palette Drive, and then you can get to Badwater, which is the lowest point in the continental U.S., minus 282 feet, something like that. And everything's very expensive, though. That's one thing to keep in mind. The restaurants are expensive, the hotels are expensive, the grocery store is expensive, gasoline is expensive, everything is expensive. So just be prepared for that. It's kind of out of the way, and it's just the way it is, so you got to deal with it. And that's why I suggested that you gas up in Stovepipe Wells, because it's a little cheaper. And if you need any groceries, you might check into the store there as well, rather than having to go to Furnace Creek. I think last time I went in to get a 6-pack of beer, it was, a Sierra Nevada, so a premium beer, but it was $18 for a 6-pack in 2021. So might be more than that now. All right, so as we approach Furnace Creek, let me talk a little bit about accommodations. So I think I'm not an expert on the hotels. They're very expensive. I would never stay there. Not my thing. I've got my van, so that's what I do. But from what I know, there are 2 hotels there, and I'll put the names of them below. And maybe I'll check the rates. But I have it in my head that one of them, the Furnace Creek one, the one right in Furnace Creek, is about $350 a night, and in 2022, and I want to say it's called the Oasis or something. That's the fancier one. It's really nice, but I think the rooms are something like $600 a night. And again, I will check that, and you can check that. But again, I'm not the expert on the hotels. I am, however, an expert on the campgrounds. So let's talk about those. There are 3 campgrounds in Furnace Creek, and only one allows you to make reservations, and that's the Furnace Creek Campground. So you go on recreation.gov and you make your reservations there. Now, it typically fills up completely, so you either need to book quite a ways out, or you need to just watch and see if anybody makes a cancellation. And if it's the busier time and on a weekend, then you're probably going to be SOL. But there are often cancellations on these government campgrounds, so do check that out. So that's Furnace Creek. It's a relatively nice campground, nice bathrooms. The sites are nice and flat. They're clean. They're spacious. Everything is good. However, one of the first come first serve campgrounds is even nicer, and I'll tell you why in a minute. That campground is called Texas Springs, and it's pretty small. There's not that many sites. In order to get a site there, you probably want to be there at around checkout time, which is probably around noonish, 1 o'clock, because the campgrounds are going to be taken by the late afternoon, and the more busier the season and the more closer to the holidays, then it's going to be harder to grab a campsite there. Now, the reason Texas Springs is the best of the three is because it's up a little bit on the alluvial fan on the east side of the valley. So you're raised up a little bit. So what that means is you kind of get a view down to the valley, and you also get a better view of the sky, which is nice. So that's why I like Texas Springs the best. Now, the third one is called Sunset, and it is just basically a barren dirt lot, and it's just pretty horrible. The good news is that you can almost always get a site there. So as a last resort, you can get a site at Sunset. So if you're a tent camper, it's not as good, because you're exposed out there in your tent. If it's windy, dust gets blown around, and it's just not that pleasant. If you're self-contained, if you can sleep inside your vehicle, or if you have a camper, or if you have a van or whatever, a trailer, then it's not so bad. You can always crawl into your trailer if it's if you want privacy or whatever. There's absolutely no privacy because there's no trees. It's completely open. But as they say, you can almost always get a site there. So those are the three. And then there is boondock camping allowed in Death Valley, but there's many no camping zones, and most of the areas in the valley itself are not allowing camping. But there are plenty of places, and a lot of them have a rule of, if you take a dirt road and you're 1 mile, I think it's 1 mile, or maybe it's 2 miles, off of a paved road, then you can camp in that location. But it varies location by location, so do check that out. So that's the summary of accommodations. So now what I'm going to do, and this way you'll get a nice tour of the Texas Springs campground, I'm going to go to Texas Springs, see if I can find a site. And if I can, then I will stay there. If I only can find a campsite at Sunset, the ugly one, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to drive up the road and then boondock camp off-road, which I prefer anyway. The reason I would go to Texas Springs is that I can go to the Furnace Creek Inn, and you can pay for internet, because I've got to stay connected. So if I'm at Texas Springs, that leaves me in close proximity, so I can go down there, pay for the internet, and do my business. So that would be the reason I would stay there, other than going boondock camping, which again I prefer over all types of camping. So hang with me here. We're going to take a little tour around Texas Springs. You're going to see what the nicest campground looks like, and we'll do drive-bys on the other two so you can get a feel for them. But I'm not going to go in them right now. I just don't have the patience or the time to or the desire to do that right now. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention about the campgrounds, and that is in the summertime, I don't think there's any reservations, and I don't think there is any issue with getting a campground if you want one. The problem is it's so hot, it's just absolutely miserable to camp, and not many people do it. So I would recommend against camping in the summertime. Don't do it. Okay, we are now rolling into Furnace Creek. And the Furnace Creek campground is this turn right here. And you can see, the vehicles and whatnot over there. Nice flat area. There are some trees and whatnot. So it's fairly pleasant. Now, just a little further along is where the Furnace Creek, I think it's called the Furnace Creek Inn, is. And this is where the restaurants and the stores, see the palm trees there? That's where everything is. And this is the ranger station here. So they have ranger programs there in the evenings sometimes. They have an information center. They have a store. You can buy guidebooks and all that. Furnace Creek, elevation 190 feet. And this, my friends, over here on the left is the lovely Sunset Campground. See, it's just this like an open parking lot. It's just really awful. And here's the gas station in Furnace Creek. Not too bad. $8 a gallon for diesel. Check it out. It's just as ugly as can be. Just a wide open field. Just pretty freaking horrible. There's somebody with a tent. I know I'm running on about it, but it's almost funny. But the good news is, I mean, look at it. It's empty. So it's not empty, but there's hundreds of spots available. So that gives me some hope about Texas Springs. Maybe it's not as crowded here as I thought, because it's park is partially closed. So then you're going to go past everything, past the little town, and just a little ways farther is the turnoff to Texas Springs. And here's the sign right here for, oh no, that's not it. This is, what am I doing here? I don't know if this is it. I think it is, yeah. It wasn't really marked. They're not helping me out much. Oh, another thing about Texas Springs is when it's full, they usually will put a little sign out here all the way out at the kiosk. This kiosk is usually unoccupied. There will be a sign if the campground is full. And I am happy to report, oh no, the sign's going to be a little further up. We have to get a little further before we start doing jumping jacks. Okay. This is where the sign would be. It says Texas Springs right there. And I think that little sandwich board there is probably the campground full sign, and I don't see it deployed. So let's cross our fingers. Okay, I'm not sure if you can tell from the video, but we are going slightly uphill. Now you're going to see a sign here that says upper loop and lower loop. If you have a choice, you want to be on the upper loop because the views that I was talking about are better. Okay? So let's head up to the upper loop. Now, I am pleasantly surprised by the fact that it doesn't seem very full. And maybe it's because people just don't come to Death Valley on New Year's. So you can see the backdrop there is really pretty. You can also see that it looks a little bit more. Oh man, there are sites everywhere. There are sites everywhere. So I like to continue. This is the first campground ghost. Oh, I took that little side loop. I didn't need to do that. So you want to be on this very, very upper loop, right up by these stone. Let's see. Now, last time, I know where I was last time, and I liked it. Maybe I'll try something, be adventurous and try something new. Now you see they are still kind of open. There's not a lot of privacy, but I'll show you the view a little later. Oh man, like none of them are. It's ridiculous. I am kind of shocked. So these are, maybe I'm gonna go over to where I was last time because I thought that was pretty nice over there. Okay, so now as we rotate around, you're gonna see why I like this campground. See in the distance, you can see across the valley from here. And that is what makes this campground the best of the three. All right, so they had like an electronic ranger thing that takes your credit card. It's pretty easy. I didn't want to film it because there's another guy there having trouble with the machine. I was trying to help him out, so I didn't get it on film. But that's it. And then you write your site number on there, and I think you clip it to your a little post out in front of your campsite, and you are good to go, sir. Okay, so then you just fill out your information on the little card here, and then you see if I can hold my camera here. And then you clip it onto your little thing here. Oh, with the two clips, which as it turns out is kind of a two-hand operation. And then what I'd like to do is just make sure I have a record of it, so I snap a photo of it, so in case somebody takes my spot when I go away, I'm still good. And the reason I do that is I'm totally self-contained in my van, so I don't leave. I mean, I can set out chairs and stuff, but I often don't do that, so I like to have a record of my payment, because somebody could just come and take the site. It's not going to happen now because there's nobody here, but all right, so here's my site, and here's the backdrop. I've got an end site. Okay, for the next hot tip, I'm going to show you how to get internet access. We're at this, what they call the town hall, but I think it's the Furnace Creek Inn. And I was going to ask them. Hi, how are you doing?
How can I help you today?
Do you guys still do the internet pay-to-play thing, or?
So we don't. Wrong map. One moment. Internet is for a third party. We do have options for you if you'd like to go ahead and get some through the third party. It'll be the Oasis Guest Access Network. And you'll just select the range at Death Valley, and it'll have an option to go through and sign in with payment. It's $4.95 per hour. If you wanted to do just 1 hour, that would be that, and I think it's $10 for a whole day.
And then there's is there still like a 3-day thing, or there used to be like a.
That's a good question.
If it's just, I was here I think it was like a year ago, and then they had the hour, and then they had the day, and then they had like a 3-day, and then I think they even had a week. And
yeah, I think they have
okay.
that.
And just also, how much are the rooms all the same price here?
The rooms are different prices. Let me go ahead and open up. We are fully booked, but the typical rate right now would consist of our cottages over this direction being about $379 before tax.
Okay.
Our standard rooms of 2 queens are roughly $289 before tax, and then our deluxe rooms with either 2 queens or 1 king are $329 before tax.
So the range is kind of 280 to 380 kind of ish. Yeah. Okay. Great.
That's kind of that. Yeah, anything else I can do for you?
That's it.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so it was kind of weird. She didn't seem to know about it. But I guess what I forgot to ask her is now, she said it's third party, but I think it's still based right in the hotel there. So before, you would, the best reception was inside there, or, sitting right outside on the veranda here. They got these nice benches, so if the weather's nice. And then I want to show you this. So that's, it says Town Hall, but that's the Furnace Creek Inn. And then over there, I don't know if you can see where the guy is, right there. Inside there, that's where there's the restaurant and the bar. Kind of pricey, but that's probably where you want to go if you want to have a drink with some friends or whatever. Hey, well, good morning. I'm at the Texas Springs Campground now at my site, and enjoying a beautiful sunrise. And I realized that I may have been a little remiss in describing the campgrounds here. I was focused on the 3 campgrounds available at Furnace Creek, but there are other campgrounds located in different parts of the park. And on the newspaper that they give you when you come in, there is a list of the campgrounds, and there are 9 different park campgrounds. So I just wanted to address that one. And one thing is, some of these other campgrounds are at slightly higher elevations, so they would be appropriate for camping in the heat of the summer, particularly the Thorndike and the Mahogany Flat, which are at 7,400 feet and 8,200 feet respectively. Those are more primitive vault toilets, and a 4x4 is recommended. I think an all-wheel drive Subaru or RAV4 wouldn't have any problem getting up to those. And then there is the Wild Rose, which is at 4,000 feet, and that's over on that alternate entrance that I was talking about. And if you go to Wild Rose, then you can check out the charcoal kilns, which I think are amazing, and I definitely recommend. And there's also Emigrant. Right at the very beginning of the video, as I was coming into Stovepipe Wells, there is a little campground there. It's only 10 sites. It's free. It's at 2,100 feet. And that's an option. Then there's Mesquite Spring, and that's a beautiful campground. It's on the northern part of the park. That's the part that's closed right now in early 2023. But once that opens again, and it will, I think, at some point, that is a really beautiful spot to be if you want to go out and explore the Ubehebe Crater, the racetrack, or the Eureka Dunes out that way. That one is at 1,800 feet, and again, it's a beautiful site. And then there is one at Stovepipe Wells where we went through, and that one is at sea level, same as this one. This one is at sea level. Now, I said it's up on the hill, but it is up on the hill because Sunset and Furnace Creek are actually at minus 196 feet. So this is 200 feet higher than those. So anyway, just wanted to be clear on additional options for camping. And the other thing I wanted to mention, as God, the sky is beautiful. I'm going to show you that looking over the other way as well in a minute. Or maybe I should do that now while I'm talking. When I came back to my campsite after hanging up my tag, I did discover that somebody had taken my site, and that was because it was kind of an end site, like you can see I'm on the end here, right next to the hills, and that's probably why they took my site. So I guess if you do what I did, which is come in and set up your site and then go back into town, you'd better leave table and chairs or something to make it look occupied. Otherwise, people, and for the people that took my site, it was an honest mistake. I don't think that there was anything malicious about it. But it could be different when the campground is full and there are no sites available. People could get a little aggressive. So you do want to make sure that you make your camp look occupied, and also hang up your tag, and also take a picture of your tag so you have a record of it in case there's a dispute. You can get your site back. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, and please do give it a like and subscribe. That would really help me out. And I've got many more fun adventures ahead, so you might want to look into subscribing and ringing the old ding-a-ring bell. So until next time, thanks for watching.